Hi guys, it's Sammy here with Blue Feather Homestead. I'm going to be doing two things today with you. I'm going to be canning some orange juice to make it shelf stable, and I am going to be making some orange vinegar. Stay tuned and I'll show you how to do it. Now, a friend of mine brought this out to me like a couple of weekends ago. We had a birthday party out here, and I'm not really sure how she ended up with it, but I think it came from a food bank, and maybe it was left over or something like that. But she brought it out to me knowing that I would do something with it. And she's right, I will do something with it. I'm going to can it up. Okay, so I'm going to start off with 8, these are half-pint jars. I'm using the smaller ones just because it seems like in recipes it takes like a 1/4 cup or something like that. And I just hate to open a big one and waste it. You can use whatever you want. If you use a lot of orange juice, you can use pints or whatever. I've shook this up and I'm just going to start pouring. I'm going to fill it up to the bottom line. And I'll show you when I get done here. Well, filling it up to the bottom line here. Okay. And we're going to water bath these for 15 minutes. That goes for pints also. I'm not really sure about quarts. Actually, I think it's just 15 minutes also, but you're just going to water bath them. I'm doing this cold. A lot of people, I'm sure, heat it up and use hot jars. I'm going to put this in just like this at room temperature, and I'm going to put it into my water bath canner that has kind of room temperature water, and then I'm going to heat it up. All right, looks like I need more jars. Now, if you're going to heat this up, you're going to want to put it in a pan and kind of heat it up almost to like if you were scalding milk. I don't think you can bring it to a boil. You just kind of heat it up, and you're going to put it in hot jars. Now, this is my vinegar. I'm just going to wipe the lids off, just like, you know, regular canning. You don't want that sticky juice in between your lid and the rim because they won't seal. So we're just going to wipe this down with vinegar, each one. That filled up 10 half-pint jars perfectly. I'm not putting these on too tight, just kind of finger tight, okay? Now, if your butterfingers like me, I mean, I have knocked those over when I was doing the vinegar wipe, and I've got orange juice spilt. It's kind of sticky up here. I'll get that wiped down with the vinegar. I'm going to go ahead and put these into the water bath. I placed all of them into my water canner here. I've got 2 inches, well, 1.5 to 2 inches over the tops. I'm going to put just a dash of vinegar in here so that my jars don't get cloudy. You can get those for about 99 cents at pretty much any store. Very convenient to have, just kind of sitting on my counter. I do a lot of canning. So anyway, that'll keep your jars from getting so cloudy and yucky. And I've got my burner on already. I started with you know, just room temperature water, room temperature orange juice, and room temperature jars. I'm going to put the lid on, and once that gets to boiling, I am going to set my timer for 15 minutes. While we're waiting on the water canner to get to boiling and we'll put the timer on, we'll go ahead and do the orange vinegar. I wanted to show you though also that these things here, I will rinse this out, you know, with really hot water, and I will fill that back up with water, and I'll keep that lid, and I'll just kind of keep that under my butcher block over here. I don't know if you've seen my other videos, but I will save that water underneath there. It is a lifesaver at times. This town, our water gets shut off quite a bit around here because of leaks and things like that, and then it'll be off, and boom, they'll text you and say, oh, the water's off, by the way. So anyway, it is so handy. So I save all my containers like this for water. Just letting you know. You're going to want a teaspoon per cup of filtered water. Okay, so I have 4 cups of water here. I do have 4 teaspoons in my little bowl here. I'm going to do this first just so it'll have time to kind of dissolve while I'm, you know, cutting up my oranges and putting them in my jar. This is pure cane sugar here. That's what we use, C&H. So I'm going to set that off to the side, bring my jar over. I have some of them cut up already. This is just like the apple the apple vinegar video that I did, except we're using citrus. Okay, we're going to use these oranges. These oranges really something need to be done with them pretty quick. You know, I can't waste them. I'm not going to waste them. So anyway, we cut them up into these pieces here, and I'm just going to toss them in to the jar. I have some more to cut up over there. Now, it's not dissolved completely, but a lot of it is dissolved for the most part. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour this sugar water on top of these oranges here. And you want them to be covered. I might end up having to get more water. Oh, it looks pretty good actually. Good deal. All right, now I have these covered with water. If the oranges were all the way up to the top and kind of popping up, I would weigh it down. But this is a fermenting weight, and it would fit just right down in there, and I could set it on top to kind of keep them, you know, from coming up here up at the top. So I'm not going to use that this time. What you're going to do is put a coffee filter or a cloth, whatever you have, you know, that it can breathe. Okay, so I'm going to put a rubber band around it, and we're going to set this in a dark, cool place for 3 weeks. You can pull the top of this off, kind of give it a stir every once in a while, look and see if it's, you know, bubbling. And if it's not, if it doesn't have much action going on, then, you know, add about a teaspoon more of sugar and kind of stir it up, and that should get it started again. So I'm going to go ahead and set this over to the side and let it work its magic. It will be vinegar. Here we go. My timer is up. I'm going to open this up away from me. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull the rack out. And I let it sit up here. These just latch on the sides. If you're not familiar with water canners, the rack kind of just pulls out with these handles, and they sit on the sides here. I'm going to let this sit for 5 minutes, and then I'll start pulling them out. When I first started canning, I thought that this was the side that you pick the jars up from, like this, you know, and you use this for your hands. I have no idea why I thought that, but anyway, they cracked, they broke, they got so hot. I still have them somewhere, but I like to pick these up at thrift stores and things. You can find them. I've mostly found them for like 50 cents each. So I guess you never can have too many, right? I've pulled out all 10 jars out of my water bath canner here. I'm going to let them sit here for 24 hours. As soon as they seal, after the 24 hours, I will remove the rings, wash them off, label them on top with a Sharpie, just to, you know, so people know what they are. And then I will have shelf-stable orange juice. Perfect for recipes, perfect for drinking, or what have you. Looks like all of my jars sealed up. I went ahead and pulled a ring off. I'll get those, give them a good scrub, and set those in my pantry on my shelf. I'm not sure if I mentioned in the first part of the video that you don't necessarily just have to use oranges for this vinegar. You can use lemons, you can use limes, you can mix all three if you want to make a citrus vinegar. It's the same concept. You're going to cover it with your sugar water. You're going to let it sit for 3 weeks. After the 3 weeks, you're going to strain it off, and then you will have your citrus vinegar, okay? It's the same thing. I just used my oranges today. So you guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you give this a try. Have a great week, and God bless. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Oh, you guys, I wish you could smell the citrusy smell in here. It is so refreshing.